yogis. I'm going to film an integrate class. So many of you guys, I'm assuming, will have done this class with me in the past. If not, it's a take on the Bikram series, kind of an intermediate level take. So we're going to go through the postures we know from the beginner series. We're going to add on some things from the advanced series and go in a little bit different order. The thing that is the most different is the addition of the salutes at the beginning. So I'll take a little extra time with those, but some of the stuff that we know from the beginner series, I'll not spend as much time describing. So this class could be a little different from time to time depending on which postures from the advanced series we add in. And we'll just go ahead and get started. Sometimes I'm going to face this way so you can get the side view. Sometimes I'll be facing forward. So we start, of course, with our standing pranayama, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, always using a narrowing, a constriction of the throat. 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out, and I'm just going to jump in and do that. Movement, arms and head together. So starting feet together, lined up, interlock your fingers, thumbs at your throat, relax your shoulders down slightly, shift the weight back towards your heels so you feel a little lift in your low belly. Eyes forward. 6 seconds in, begin. Last one. And arms down by your side. Just one set of the breathing. We're going to go right into our Suits the Gods and the Goddesses. I'm going to keep it just one direction because I think that'll be the easiest to see. And for those of you who have limited space like myself here, the forward and back will still do extra sets. And for anybody who needs a refresher on these, there's two positions, a big lunge and a kneeling position. The big lunge, we step forward, high on the back toes, but press as straight as you can through this back leg. So if the hamstring's tight, you might be a little bent, but press to the ball of your foot, squeeze your glute and press back. The right thigh or the front leg is as parallel to the floor as possible. Try not to sink down here, lifting up out of the waist. And then from that position, we'll take a back bend, lifting the chest and stretching out through the front hip. We'll do that in two directions, and then we'll go into our kneeling position. For the kneeling position, most advanced traditional way is just to set the whole leg shin down round forward over the front leg, not dipping back, so you really have to scoop out the belly, go down forward, and then coming back, taking a back bend. Same thing, you're not have a lot of space here, so you really have to get more into the upper back. You can't use your lower back as much. Lifting up and bringing your body back, and then just sliding off the foot to come up and switch to the other direction, sliding down. If that's not accessible, you can tuck your toes, lift, turn, tuck, lower, and then you can also bring your hands to the floor. If you need to be safe, use your hands to be safe. So, starting at the end of the mat, look forward, arms sweep forward to help you balance. You step, right leg comes forward, high in the back toes. Maybe just scissor the front leg back a little bit, and the left hip or back hip forward. So you're squeezing in through the inner thighs, lift up out of your waist, low belly engaged, chest up, eyes up. And then take your backward bend, stretching your chest up and back, lengthening through the front of your body. Pressing through your left big toe, bottom under your foot, squeezing your inner thighs in. Inhale, come back up. Straighten through the front leg, pivot around. So now the left leg will be in front. Make sure, sometimes we get a little crissy-crossed in this, so make sure you're all the way bringing all the toes in the same direction, high in the back foot, again, squeezing that glute, pressing back through that leg, and not kind of leaning in or out with the front leg, but staying very strong and engaged through the front leg, left leg at the same time. Lift up out of your waist, reach longer away from the waistband of your shorts, and start to take your body back. The balance should be a challenge. That's part of it. No matter how long you've been doing these, you will occasionally have a day when you're going to tip over. So just squeezing into your inner thighs and lift as much as you can. Inhale, come back up. We'll go right into our kneeling position. So bring your right knee down to the floor. Tuck your chin, round forward over your left leg. Scoop out your belly. Your right hip should be directly over your right knee, not behind. Keep lifting up, rounding your spine. Inhale, come back up, and take our back bend here. Lift up to bring your body back. I like to really stretch out through the tops of my right foot and the bottom of my left foot. So I feel the kind of bridge area along the toenails or underneath the toenails, the pads of the feet, toes. Pressing both down into the floor. Inhale, come back up, and we'll come back to standing and switch the other direction. Kneeling down. Tuck your chin, round forward over your right leg. Looking up at yourself. If your arms are long enough, gently press on the floor with your fingertips. So your shoulders pull up. Inhale, come back up, and backward bend again. Lifting up out of the waist. Inhale back, tuck the back toes, step your right foot back to meet it. I'm going to go right into this. I'm going to do 4 sets instead of the normal 2, which should build quite a bit of warmth. So, doing it right again, right leg steps forward. High on the back toes, lift to the chest, a little bit faster this time. Reaching the upper body back. Inhale back forward, straighten through the right leg, pivot around to the left leg, all the way up onto the right toes, left thigh parallel to the floor, sit to the left hip back, lift your chest, reach your arms back. Inhale, come back up, coming into a kneeling position, only a few inches, 2 fists is a good measurement between the knee and the ankle, round forward to the knee. Inhale, come back up, backward bend. Notice if your right hip starts to drop, just squeeze your right butt and press that right knee forward as you pull your left heel back towards the knee. Inhale, come back up, and we'll do left side, left shin comes down, tuck your chin, round forward over the right thigh. Inhale, come back up, take your backward bend. Again, kind of drawing your right heel towards your left knee and your left knee towards your right heel. Equal weight in both legs. Inhale, come back up. Tuck your left foot, right foot back. Arms down. I'm going to do one more round. So looking forward, right leg steps forward. Iron the back toes, feel the pressure of the ball mound of your foot. Lift up, take your back bend. Maybe getting deeper if the shoulders are tight, you don't have to cross your thumbs. Inhale, come back up. Switching to the other side, so you can keep your hands at your chest or your hips, particularly if you feel like you're going to fall over. Or for people who want to really work the grip, you can interlace the fingers, beginner grip. Inhale, come back up, going into our kneeling position. Tuck your chin, round forward. Really lift up, pull the low belly up. Expand through the back of the ribs. Come back up, take your back bend. Inhale, come back up. Pivot around. Kneel down, tuck your chin, round forward. Inhale, back bend. Try to keep the right heel to the floor and we'll want to come up. Inhale, come back up, tuck your toes. Right foot back and try to pop right into a second set right away. Lift, back bend. Inhale, come back up. Straighten pivot. Roll the ball of the foot, square your hips. Lift your chest. Look up as you go up and back. Inhale, come back up. Kneeling position. Tuck your chin, round down. Inhale, come back up. Back up to center. And one more. Left knee down. Tuck your chin, round forward. Inhale, come back up and take a back bend. Inhale, back up. Tuck your left toes, right foot back, arms down by your side. So that's like 4 rounds. We normally just do 2 if we're doing that way, or the traditional way is 4, but all 4 directions. Next we'll do our splits to the sun. I think I'll stay at the top of the mat facing this way for this one. We'll just do 2 sets. Hands to your heart. You keep them there or bring them up for a back bend. Just a lift, stretching through the front of the body, relaxing the abdomen slightly. Inhale, come back up, and then exhale, move round forward. Forward towards your knees, like you're making a capital letter P with your body. If you have the flexibility, you can bring your hands all the way back in line with your feet. Otherwise, you can bring your hands a little bit further forward, or you can put them on blocks if you have blocks at home to help you get that sensation of being able to press down with your hands. Very helpful here. So you're trying to straighten your arms and your legs as much as you can and round your spine. Then sit your hips down towards your heels. Shoulders pull down, elbows slightly drive in. And then from this position, I'm going to start to send my right leg back. So I'm keeping my forehead towards my knee, coming back into a lunging position, high at my right, a ball mound over my foot. Look forward, lengthen the spine, send the left leg back. So now I'm in a full plank position, just one push up. I'm going to press my chest forward. Shoulders are forward of my wrists, lower down, and come back up. Opposite way, we're coming out. Left knee comes towards the chest. Set the foot down in between the hands. Lengthen, and tuck the chin around your spine. Step your right foot back to meet your left. So you're in that little crouching curl position. If you can touch your butt to your heels, by all means do it. Just can't do that yet. And then we come back up into our capital P position. So pressing into the floor, rounding the spine, again, arms drawing slightly in. All the way back up tall, just coming out the same way we went in. We ended the back bend. And back to center, arms down by the side. One more set. This time we'll lead with the left leg, a little untraditional. Hands to your chest, take your back bend. Back up to center, round down, forward to your knees. Sit your hips to your heels. This time left leg will go back first. You're gonna press through that foot, pull that hip back. Lift your chest, look forward. Right leg goes back, you're in the plank. Nice and long through the whole body. Press through the feet. Press your chest more forward. One push-up. You can bring your knees down for those. There's no shame in that. Better to have better form and do it right. Right knee comes up. Back up in between your hands. Lengthen, round. Send your left leg back to meet it. Back into the crouch and curl. I'm going to let my heels come up. So that's your option, is you can either have your heels into the floor and try to get your butt closer to your heels, or have your heels up. Just bringing those points closer to each other. Lift your hips, round your spine, press the floor away. All the way back up tall, and a backward bend. And back up, arms down by your side. Going into half moon, done a little bit as a series. So starting with the feet together, arms up over your head. So you can do advanced style, just crossing the thumbs, or you could do your full interlocked grip. But lift up, reach up out of your waist, get really tall, and bring your body over to the right. We won't stay there a super long time, so make sure it's precise. Everything one line. Inhale back up, and directly over to the left. Again, everything in one line. That lift up in the low belly, strong glutes, chest lifted, chin up. Come back up to the center, backward bend. Inhale back up and forward fold. If you need movement, take it. This is still our first flat back forward fold. If you don't, you can get right into it. Bend your knees as much as you need. Fold from the creases of your hips. And just let your legs straighten as you roll your shoulders back and broaden your chest. And again, for the more advanced, hands will stay at the back of the ankles or the calves instead of going underneath your heels, so you can't use as much strength of your arms. Still drawing the elbows in. And then we'll come back up. Going into a turn to the side if you need it for triangle. Right leg steps out wide, arms come down, hips forward, upper body back. Turn your foot out at the angle. We're going into it all as one. Just bend the knee, move your arms, bring your chin to your shoulder. So ideally your chin touches your shoulder at the same time your fingers graze your big toe and your elbow touches at the outside of the knee. And everything just stacks up one long line through the body. Inhale, come back up. Right foot in, left foot out, shoulders over hips, weights even in the legs. Bend the knee, triangle. Chin towards your shoulder, looking up past your fingers. If you didn't take quite enough long enough step like I did on this side, make your adjustment. Keep reaching across your body, hips forward, broadening across the hips and pelvis. Inhale back into the center. Arms up over your head, and then we'll cross our thumbs, walk the feet in slightly as you did. Pivot for standing separate leg, head to knee. So tuck your chin, make sure that hip isn't kind of sunk down and going back, it's lifted up. So you might need to bend your knee a little bit to create the lift. Tuck your chin and round forward to your right knee. Looking up at yourself, hands just beyond your toes. So again, I'm maneuvering slightly to pull my front hip back and my back hip forward, and then also to maybe lift my hip up more. Oftentimes the hip and knee is, inhale, come back up. We'll kind of dig in and down. Pivot around to the other side. So square your hips, lift your chest, torso's going to go slightly towards the left, tuck your chin, round over the left leg. If you feel that hip kind of sinking down and back, lift it up. Bend your knee as much as you need to, forehead to knee. And then again, lift the hip up even more. Pull that right hip forward, the left hip back. Get more space in the back of the rib cage, scoop out the belly. Inhale, come back up. Chin up, back to center, right foot back, arms down. Gonna go through that all again, one more time. Arms up, reach tall. Half moon side bend to the right. Ribs over ribs, right in line with your hip. Inhale, come back up. Half moon side bend to the left. Ribs over ribs, directly over your left hip. back to the center, little back bend, lift your chest. Inhale, come back up, take your forward fold. Ears away from shoulders. Weight still pressing forward towards the toes unless you don't want any stretch in the legs. Inhale, come back up. And step it out. Arms out wide, chest up, right foot out to the side. Triangle. Bring your tail towards your left heel. And try to widen across the front bones of your hips. Low belly in, glutes tight. Inhale, come back up. Right foot in, left foot out, shoulders over hips. Triangle. Stacking shoulder over shoulder, wrist over wrist. Rolling that left upper thigh out. And then again, pulling to broaden the front, points the hips away from each other. Tail towards your right heel. Change, come back up. Arm step over your head. Walk the feet in a little bit, not too close. Keep a nice long stance. Square your hips, tuck your chin. Exhale, round, diving over the right leg. Body goes a little bit to the right. Forward to your knee, bend your knee if you need to. Lift and create space. Inhale, come back up. Pivot all the way around. Square your hips. Tuck your chin. Exhale, round over your left leg. Your knee if you need. Towards the knee. Lift up that left side of your belly. Strong arms. Press the floor away. Inhale, come back up. Chin up at the top. Back to center. Right foot back. Arms down. Alright, going into our awkward pose. Just one quick set. Right foot steps out and arms come up. So feet are hip width distance, 6 inches apart. Fingertips reaching forward, right in line with your shoulders. Knees track over, ankles under your hips. Exhale, sit back. Hips low, belly in, shoulders down, collarbones wide. Really strong glutes. Keep the 6 inches, toes, heels, knees, and hands. Inhale, come back up. Second part, rocking forward towards the toes. Lift up as tall as you can and lower yourself down, keeping the joints aligned. Just sliding down like you're sliding down the wall behind you, shoulders plugged in, fingertips still reaching away from your shoulders. You could go higher on your toes, upper body stays back. Reach all the way back up, down on your heels. Third part, we come up a little bit, draw the knees together. If you're too far apart, your heels start to go out. That's not going to be helpful. So make sure that when you bring your knees together, your heels still are facing directly back. So I'm rolling in through my thighs versus pushing the bones in. Rolling in through my thighs, heels back, slowly slide down. Wherever you land, your heels are just in that same line as your sit bones, nice and long through your spine, lifted away from the front points of the hips. Nice and light. Inhale, press back up. Right foot back, arms down. One more in our warm-up, eagle pose, arms up over your head. For this more advanced practice, the arms and legs will move together. That's optional, but if you are doing that, the right arm goes under, right leg goes over. So cross and twist. And then everything kind of tightens up at the same time, drawing into your center, elbows down towards your chest, hips low, chest up. A little bit more weight back and a little bit more activity in the inside arch of your foot, chin parallel and upper body back. Change, come back up. Arms up over your head, left arm under, same time left leg goes over. And then tighten everything up, slide the foot down if it's available, elbows down, flatten out through your wrists, lift your chest, lift up a little bit underneath your armpits, at the same time pull your elbows further down into your chest. Everything stacks up one line underneath your nose, squeeze your inner thighs, and lift your chest, arch your upper body back. Change, arms up over your head, arms down. You can have water if you need it. Have a quick sip. So, building up pretty good heat without the heat. And so we're going to on to the balance series, starting of course with standing head to knee pose. First set will be a no hands version. So I'm going to interlace my fingers behind me, like this. And I'm going to try to keep this awareness that I'm not going to push back into my hands. Shift your weight to your left leg. Right leg comes up, flex your right foot. Tuck your chin and just see how close you can get, rounding your spine, bringing your forehead towards your right knee. If you're leaning back into your left leg or out to the side, that's enough. Find the stabilization there first. If you're getting anywhere halfway to your knee or closer, you can play with extending your leg and or reaching your arms up and back. And then come back up. Same thing on the other side. Weights in the right leg. Left leg comes up. Each leg has their own lane. Not crossing over this lane or going to the other lane. Staying in my lane. Foot flexed. Waistband even. I can already feel myself sinking into this hip. If you know you have one side, you tend to sink into it. Be extra aware. Tuck your chin. Round your spine and bring your forehead to your knee. So you don't need the mirror. You can feel it if you're cheating or leaning back. And then you can stay there. You can add the leg forward. You can add the arms up and back. Keep rolling in through your right thigh. Change, come back out. Left leg down. Second set, we'll do the full traditional beginner pose, but not for a super long time. So shift your weight into your left leg, bring your right leg up. Round forward to pick up the foot in front of you, scooping up the belly, foot's light in the hand. All toes pull back. Extend your leg forward. Wherever this is your stopping point. If you're losing your standing leg, go back to that. If you're kicking, straightening through the right leg, flexing the toes back towards you until you feel that your heel is going forward of your toes. And then if you're ready for more, elbows down on the sides of your calf, full expression, tuck the chin, round the spine, bring your forehead to your knee. We're adding on the arms, letting go, or reaching back like we did before. Reverse back out. I haven't done that in 2 weeks. I don't remember the last time it's been 2 weeks since I've done that pose. Wow. Let's do it again. Shift your weight to your right leg. The left leg comes up. Round forward. Pick up your left foot in front of you. Flex your toes. Relax your shoulders. Kick into your hand or stay working on the first part, Take it where you need to. That's where you get the benefits. If you're flexing the toes back, really try to extend more forward through the heel, kick from your hips or using your butt until both legs are solid. If you're bouncing there, elbows down, rounding your spine. If your elbows go below and you're ready to go full expression, tuck your chin, forward to the knee. We're adding on. Stubborn. Come back out, left leg down. Optional back bend if you want it. And then we'll move into standing boat pulling posture. I think I'm going to face to the side for this one. So, starting off, first set, first side, right hand up just like normal. Pick up your right foot and step so you can see it inside the ankle. Thumb with the index finger at the ankle joint. Left arm comes up, reach top of the left side body, square the waistband, chest up, inhale. Charge your body forward at the same time, kick back. Kick back and kick up to help you back bend and bring your body down. The more you kick, the more you stretch until you find your equilibrium, until you're held in place. That perfect 50-50 going forward and back. I think I'm a little bit externally rotated through my right hip, so try to draw your right butt in towards your left butt in towards your right butt. Try to squeeze everything closer to your midline. So the toes pointed up, fingertips going forward, left shoulder forward, eyes forward to the fingertips right there between your eyebrows. Let it down and kick, kick, kick. And then reverse it to come out. Let's try the other side. Left hand comes up. Pick up your left foot. The inside of your ankle joint. Left shoulder is naturally pulled back. Right arm comes up. Just the top. Lift through the side of your body. Chest up. And charge forward as you kick back. Kick into your hand. Toes are pointed up the whole time. Fingertips are reaching forward the whole time. Squeeze the fingers into the center of your hand. Relax your left shoulder back, but keep the hip in line so they're just getting a nice long stretch to the front of your left hip, just like we did in the lunges. And squeezing through the butt to draw the hips in instead of rotating outwards. Shoulder can pull back, shoulder can come forward. You can even use your left arm to help pull the leg higher if you're getting up there. 2 feet, one line from the side. Reach the fingertips in between the eyebrows, body down, kick. Find your deep back bend, kick, stretch forward and kick, kick, kick. Change, come back up. Left leg down. Clear, which leg is stronger? Okay, well, let's do a second set. For the second set, dancer variations. So option to do a big toe grip or to go for the full thing if you know the full pigeon grip. I'm just going to do big toe grip today. Switch this side. So I'm doing the big toe grip. I'm going to hold on right around the big toe, not dainty, but hold on all the way around that ball mound of your foot. If you want the full pigeon grip, it's this round grip, right? Very awkward, very strange. So choose where you want to be. And so I'm going to really work on the back bend. I'm not going to let myself drop. I'm just going to back bend or going to minimize the drop. And so we're going to reach up as much as I can. I'm going to start to kick. And pretty quickly you're going to really want to drop, but don't let yourself drop. Just work on your back bend. There's also be a big stretch for your shoulder, or maybe you'll feel like where you're maxed out at your hip extension. So just finding all those little edges and playing with them and seeing where you can still feel that power of your stretch in your left side body and your left arm. And then come on up. So it should be pretty intense across your chest. That's the big stretch. If you're doing the funny wrist thing, you might feel more of it in your wrist, but still most of the good stuff is happening in the pecs. So, same grip here, big toe, wrapping around, right arm up, lengthen, engage through your right leg, that's still what's holding you in place, and kick. You can always drop and make this more shoulder. This side's a lot tighter for me, but I feel it on that left pec, so I'm just going to keep breathing, keep looking up as much as I can. Don't strain the neck either. If you have the tendency to take these into the neck, be very aware of that. Don't let your neck do the job for you. Just make it smaller. Do what you can actually do from your back and from your pec, your shoulder. Change. Coming into our balancing stick pose. First the classic. You can do any arm variation you like. The advanced would be just the thumbs crossed. So arms up overhead. Look forward, right leg step forward, chest up. Then you lower yourself down with control. The upper body goes down, the leg comes up, and so you're one long line. You have the hips rolled out to the side, bring your left hip a little forward, square your right hip back, arms tight, palms together, reach, 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 and then come back up. Lift up out of your waist, left leg step forward, chest up, same thing. Bend your left knee if you need to keep the weight in the center. So if you feel your weight like shifting back into the back of your heel or the back of your shin, find that equilibrium so you feel your joints just aligned, your knee over the center of your ankle, 90-degree angle at your ankle. Come back up, arms down. For the second set, we'll add the split arm balancing stick. So back bending, reaching the arms back. That's what the chest is going to do, is it's going to go out and back like you just landed some fancy gymnastics move. So arms up over your head. Look forward. Step. Bring your body down to that T, and then split your arms. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Wide across your collarbones. Press your chest up and forward, even as your leg goes higher to create the back bend. Lifting away from the right hip. And come back up. Step your left leg forward. Press tall, lift away, bring your body down, leg up, find that equilibrium, then reach back, roll the heads, the shoulders back, press your chest forward, feel really long and stretchy in your throat. Reach the bottom of the ribs a little forward, so you're tilting all the way through your torso, and lengthen your right leg back. Still an internal rotation in the right leg. Change. Arms down by your side. Okay. we're going to go into our last side stepping series posture, standing separate leg stretching, with an option to work on guillotine as well. So first the good basic, arms up over the head, right leg step out to the right, arms down parallel to the floor. I take a pretty small stance. This one you can obviously take a longer stance, just make sure it's not split still, right? Chest up, lean your body forward. So I'm rotating from my hips to bring me down. So my hips are not going to lean back. My weight's going to stay right there, centered over my ankle. And then I'm going to take my arms out to the side, get my traditional grip, and draw my chest forward. Try and get as much as I can from my hips. Elbows can go out or back. We're just rotating the hips, bending the knees if things are a little stuck or tight, and trying to lengthen through your spine. Make it come forward into the toes. And then slowly come back up. I'm just going to keep the legs there and take a second set. The traditional way would be the reverse prayer. So that is this guy. Doesn't have to be perfect. Mine's still not perfect, but it's getting better. You can also take chest expansion arms. So to bend the elbows and interlace the fingers, and then stretch and roll back, and use that to help open up the shoulders a little bit more. So you choose. I'll start with the one and then go into the other. So I'm going to bring my hands into the fist, elbows bent, and then roll my shoulders back, and stretch my arms back, and fold over. There are versions of this you do with a not flat back, but we're going to stay in the flat back version. And then I'm going to go into my reverse prayer, squeezing in from the top of the shoulder blades. There's not much you can do with your elbows to make this work, so you really just have to press your collarbones forward and squeeze at the very top of the shoulder blades down and inwards. And then if you don't need the hands for support, you can just come back up. Release your grip. For guillotine, you can play one leg at a time or go into the full thing. One leg at a time would be wrapping inside like so. So I will do this facing you guys. So you can always come down and just take a little squat. Toes can go out to the sides if that's your natural position in your squat. Just getting a little bit more comfortable, or if you get overwhelmed, you can come up to this. Otherwise, for guillotine, the hand wraps around the inside of the ankle, or as you get more flexible, higher up on the calf. Shoulders going inside your leg as much as possible. So you can wrap your shoulder inside, wrap your hand around your back, and then take a little bind, and just tuck your chin to your chest and try to straighten the legs as much as you can. Do that same thing on the other side, wrapping around. My shoulder comes as much inside my leg as possible. Take the bind, toes point forward, chin tucks, a nice stretch. Or the full thing, which I'm not getting the bind yet, but it feels pretty darn good. To bring both hands inside. So the toes are going to be forward as you do this. You don't want a huge wide stance. That's going to actually make it harder for you to get your shoulders in there. And then bringing the hands behind. Eventually they'll clasp, or you can use a little towel. Then once you get your shoulders in there, you can widen your legs and lift up and look up at yourself. Straightening as much as possible, and then come out the same way. Take a moment in your squat. While we're down on the squat, we're going to take a couple exercises for crow. So I'm going to bring my hands about shoulder width apart. I'm going to lift my hips up. I'm going to heel toe my feet in until they're a foot or a little bit less behind my wrists. If you're not used to doing crow, having weight in your hands, fingers spread wide. Ideally, your second fingers are forward, like parallel to each other, but you have this sensation of turning out through both hands, like you're turning this one clockwise, this one counterclockwise, so you draw in through your arms and through the sides of your body, and it helps to stabilize you. So that's where the hands go. For our exercise first, we're going to do is we're going to bend our knees. If you can, you're going to try to touch your torso towards your thighs. Like Like I'm gonna try to touch my torso to my thighs and stay really low and really scooped out through my belly so I feel stretch and space in my low back. And then from here, I'm gonna pull my shoulders back a little bit. I'm gonna kick my wrists. If you're keeping your upper body and lower body together, oh, that's gonna be so much harder. So you can always take it wider. Do little wrist kicks here, depending on where you're at. But if you can, stay low. Try to keep everything together. It will literally hurt my thighs. Feel like they're cramping. So that's normal. 10 more. 10, 9, 8. Try to keep the fingertips pressing down to the floor. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then squat again. I was going to do another exercise, but after doing 10 of those, I don't want to do anymore. So I think we'll just do crow. If you're not used to doing crow, the most important thing is that you have that space that you can use your hands. So again, hands shoulder width apart. Same thing of drawing in through the arms. And you can just rock your weight forward and back. If your palms are kind of like bubbling up off the floor, your fingertips are curling up off the floor a lot, you probably need to work on that, right? Bringing your shoulders forward of your wrists and keeping your hands supportive and happy. So you can rock back and forth and just get more and more comfortable with that. More of that flexibility to bring your wrists into full extension. If your wrists are in full extension, this isn't a big deal, this is fine. Then we're gonna go back into that squeezing the thighs up into the torso to the thighs, but without, just keep that belly pulled in. It's like tuck of your tail. And then from there, you can start to bend your elbows and draw your legs up. Ideal position is high and just a smidge to the outside, so when you press, you can squeeze your legs in, kind of like you're squeezing your arms in, your legs could squeeze up and in. So from that position, elbows can bend. You can play with like getting a little bit of leg up off the floor, making that little exercise of your own, or keeping the elbows drawing in, arms scooping inwards, legs stabilize, weight comes forward, feet just will pop up off the floor, just will lift up naturally. And then if you can touch your toes, and if you can, then you can use that scoop of your legs to lift you up, or to get straighter through your arms. Okay, moving on to finger stand. Everyone's favorite finger stand. I'm going to do it with my legs on the rug. It's not going to be fun. So if you have a slippery surface, that's better. Traditionally in this lineage, we go up on our fingertips, these little spider fingers, or sometimes called cupcake hands, like your hands are over a cupcake. So if you're not used to being up on your fingers, this takes a while to build up the strength in the hands and the forearms to support you in this way. So I recommend trying, and then if you feel like you're just collapsing into your joints, you tried, you can bring your hands forward, press your fingertips flat to the floor, forward in front of you, because that's a good way too, right? So I actually like these. Thumbs go right where your butt attaches to your thighs, fingers come out to the side. We're going to point the toes. So at first you can just press and see if you can lift your butt up off the floor. You feel your shoulders pull down, belly scoop in. And then to add on, you're going to tuck your chin and round forward. So I'm adding this big scoop, just like you did in the last balance too. Scoop. And then I'm going to press through my fingers and I'm going to use the scoop to slide my hips back. So my feet actually slide on the rug pretty well. 3 more attempts to slide your legs back, or if you're starting to get it, you can play with lifting one leg at a time, or you can start to lift both. Tuck your chin, round forward, point your toes, scoop everything up, slide it back, maybe lift and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The hold is so much harder. Now I got a hold of the other leg, or just imagine you're doing it. Think about it, mentally imagine it. Tuck your chin, round forward, scoop it back. Hold the other leg up, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower yourself back down. Third one's the magic one. Magic set, everything just lifts up. You never know, don't doubt yourself. Tuck your chin, if you want to cheat, slide your knees in, and then try to lift up. Maybe slide the knees in, lift, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding there was just mean of me, so I apologize. Okay, let's do a little bit of hips actually. So I'm going to take my left leg and bring it in towards my body. And we'll start with a little rock the baby, which is a traditional way that we warm things up at a hip. I'm going to sneeze, sorry. Waiting for it. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, right leg comes up. Rock the baby. Can be wide out like this. Or you can bring the foot right into the crook of your elbow. And hold on and rock like this. But just make sure your shoulders aren't up like this. You're not rounding into your back at 10. So try to pull your shoulders down. Neck is relaxed. Small movement, just rotating a little bit. Right femur in the socket. And lifting up as tall as you can through your spine. It's a catch-22. The tighter the hip is, the harder that's going to be. Just give it a try, flexing your right foot as well. And then we're going to do leg circles. So leg circles, the most important thing is that you make a circle. And that you don't have any knee pain. If this is problematic for your knee to be bent in, you can always extend that leg out. If the leg circle is not feeling good, my other option does involve a little weight in the hands, but it's drawing a circle with your knee in a quadruped position. So that's the other option. Otherwise, I'm going to sit up as tall as I can on my sit bones. If that's very challenging, towel underneath you or mat rolled up underneath you to give you a little boost. And I'm going to hold on what I call burrito grip. So it's right around the baby toe side of the foot, interlaced fingers. This is going to feel like a lot of arm work. You're relaxing your legs. So just bounce the knee a couple times. Remind yourself to relax. Should never hurt the knee. The circle is going to go from your pelvis up towards your chest forward. It might be very, very small at first, or it could be like a nice big, like a medium-sized pizza, like a 12-inch pizza, but make sure it's a circle. If you're doing a weird ziggy-zag square, something like that, it's not quite what we're asking the hip to do. So, knees relaxed, heel comes in, up, forward, out. In, up, forward, out. My knee is bouncy and relaxed, so if I go faster, it just kind of relaxes and moves, and it's all upper body strength to do these. So you can go faster if you're more comfortable. You'll find the tighter the hip is, the slower you'll want to go. Like I go way slower on my left side, my tighter hip, and then just notice if again if the shoulders start to creep up, try to relax your shoulders down, lift and give yourself some space. The same thing on the other side. Right leg can come in or be extended out. We'll rock this left baby. Again, you can hold on low, any amount here. This side's so much tighter, but let's see. It looks a little silly for me to do it this way, but it feels okay. So I'm going to choose to do it this way. I flex my foot, and when I flex my foot, actually, so I was here, I flex my foot, and all of a sudden I can go quite a bit higher, into a better angle. Don't discount what little things can do for you. And then we'll make some circles with the left leg. So I'm going to interlace by my burrito grip on the outside edge of your left foot. Put the foot down and bounce the knee. Knees relaxed. Remember, if the knee gives you grief on one side, do those quadruped knee circles. Don't force anything with your knee. Lift up tall, shoulders relaxed. Heel comes in, up, forward. In, up, 4. And then if you get into a nice bouncy rhythm with it, and it can be bouncy, so you'll notice this knees is higher and a little bit more livelier because this hip is tighter. So the more open you are, the more that knee will probably stay out or down more. We'll try to sit up tall, so notice if you start to roll back. Or again, if you start to feel the tension in the shoulders or your neck. And keep the circle right up through the center of your body, however small or big it is. Just approximating the same number on this side. Because honestly, sometimes you need more on one side than the other. So it's not always best to just be even. Even isn't always even. Alright, that's enough. Set it down. One quick little Baddha Konasana butterfly. So bring the soles of your feet to touch. First I'm going to interlace my fingers. I'm going to do double burrito. I'll lay on the baby toes. Try to set as tall as I can. And I'm going to walk my butt cheeks up towards my heels. And then I'm going to take my baby toes, I'm going to press them into my hands, and I'm going to curl the rest of the toes away like they're going to curl around my hands. Like I'm opening up my soles of my feet like a book and sit up tall. And the more I can press down through my knees, the more I can lift up through my chest, down through my knees, up through my chest. And then release it. Now we're going to do good luck pose, which is not a pose that's done a lot. You have all your body weight on your toes, so it's a quick one, but modify if you need to. So the full thing, you set up kind of like gate pose. One leg is out, knee and foot in line. And then the modification would be to come up on the heel and to stay on the shin. And then we'll do the rest of it. Otherwise, I'm going to be up on this heel, I'm going to tuck my toes, and I'm going to sit my butt onto the heel. So you don't have to be like balancing with this knee up off the floor. And knee stays down, but I've got weight on my toes. And I'm going to bring my thumbs towards my ears. Second finger goes across my eyes. Third will go under nostrils, fourth to the mouth, fifth to the chin. We're going to all breathe in and then hold the breath for 20 seconds. Release it and we'll switch to the other side. Right knee in, left leg extended out. Again, you can stay down on that shin, flex the foot, sit your hip up and do the same thing. Or tucking the toes, bringing the heel right to your center. And we'll do that same, closing everything off, lifting jaw, breathing in, holding for 20 seconds. You know, we're not supposed to be touching your face right now, so if you want to just like do a little mask in front, you don't need to touch anything, just do it the traditional way. So inhale and hold. Change. Okay. If the feet want it, you can do a little temper tantrum. Sometimes that feels good. And then we'll finish off our standing series with a little bit of the hips. So coming back up to standing, I think I'll just stay facing this direction, but you'll probably want to be long ways on your mat. For tree pose, right leg comes up, coming out, just like we did before, like you're rocking the baby. Heel comes up towards the hip crease, knee relaxing down. Lift up tall, right hand to your chest. You can keep holding your left foot. If you don't need it, left hand up to your chest. If you want to kind of add on, like I was doing in our butterfly, like pulling the foot open. And then just try to lift up underneath your armpits, traction your spine if you're arching back into your hips. Lifting your lower belly, and stretch the front of your hips and pelvis. I'm going to go right into toe stand if you want toe stand. So for toe stand, you can either hold your foot, reach forward, lengthening your spine, or reaching forward to come down to the floor. And then if you can come down to the floor, you can bend your knee and sit your hips to your heel, or more advanced, lowering by bending the knee, lifting up through the chest. I'm putting my thumbs here, so I have to my thumbs so I don't round forward, so I'm like using that as a reminder. And then this is not recommended if you have knee issues. Just coming up off the heel, finding your hover, making sure you're still tall and lifted to your chest. And then coming up the same way, harder. And right leg up and down. Same thing other side. Bend your standing leg. Left knee comes up. You can pull it into your chest if that helps. Bring the leg out like when you're rocking the baby, so you're rotating out through your thigh, not at the knee. Just hold the foot up or forward, folding, wrapping around if that's available to you. Left hand up to the center of your chest. You can stay there. Bring the right hand up. This is my less compliant hip, so I don't know. We'll see. Oh, hey, it's doing it. Again, wide across your collarbones. Shoulders roll back if you're arching forward. See if you can pull the points of your hips forward. And then you can stay there. You can hold on one hand, reach one arm forward, lengthening. Or you can start to fold forward, bring your hands to the floor. I'm not doing fancy, no hands on this side. But if you want to, obviously, follow up with what you did on the other side if that's available. Bend the knee, sit down. Maybe finding a hover. Lift your chest. Bend that knee if you need to. And then come back out the same way you went in. And left leg down. Okay, we're going to take this forward into either beach or pigeon. So if the foot and the hip crease feels pretty darn good, you can get into beach from seated or from the standing position. So if going from tree down to toe doesn't feel great, but you have a good foot high up on the hip crease, the seated position is a great way to do it. So you can either go all the way down from your tree like you're lowering down into toe stand, or you can set up with your foot in your hip crease like half lotus. Bring your hands forward, come up onto your knees. The trick here is keeping the foot high. So it's going to want to like slide down. You're going to keep it. Maybe you can wrap the toes around your thigh a little bit. Hands come forward quite a bit. Left shin goes back. And then I'm going to press my pubic bone forward. I'm going to land so that the sole of my foot comes to the floor. And I like to come up on my elbows and kind of use my elbows to pull forward. Or you can use that left leg, kind of press down to the top ball mound of your right foot. And get a little bit more rotation on the hip. I'm just going to stay here forever. But if this is not something that made sense, or your foot just came out, you probably landed in a pigeon anyway, so just make sure your knee's happy and take the pigeon. Or just take a pigeon. The goal here is to eventually get the hips more even and more of the sole of your foot to the floor. Walk my way back out of it. You can see how white my foot got, how much of it actually had pressure, was on the floor. I'm going to switch to the other side. So right foot tucked in, left foot in half lotus. And again, the more comfortable this is at the beginning, the easier it's going to be to keep the foot there. So if you worthwhile to take the time to get a good one if these are a little tricky for you. And then we'll bring the weight forward, hands forward, rock up onto the knees. Arms walk forward, try to keep the foot up, wrap the toes around if available, slide your shin back, and pressing the pubic bone forward, coming onto the bottom of the left foot. Finding your lift, maybe pressing the elbows back so you're creating more of a back bend, which will help open the front of the hip a little bit more. Even though it's not a big deal to sickle with your back ankle on this one, you can tuck your toes if you tend to do that to get out of the habit. Just be mindful of that so that you can, whenever you have a chance to work on something, being more precise with your movements, why not? Now I'm trying to let my left hip relax down to the floor. It's definitely a little higher than your right one. But I'm trying to relax it down, rolling it forward, and getting more pressure into my left front, bottom of my foot. But again, it shouldn't hurt. It should actually feel really good. And then slowly come back up. Come back up the same way you came in if possible. While we're here, just gonna shimmy around and adjust if you need to. We'll take one half lotus on each side. So I got my left foot still in half lotus. I'm gonna take a bind. I'm gonna take my left arm, wrap it around. So you have the option here to clasp with your right hand and kind of see if you can wrap it a little bit more. And then you can also take your right hand and press your toe back and use that to help you get the foot. And then we'll take a twist. Right hand's gonna come to the knee. I like to have my hand there kind of like press down that left knee. But you can also there's a version where you take the back of your hand, so you can roll that shoulder back. So that's also can be helpful. And then looking over, chin parallel to the shoulder, looking over the shoulder. Keep the left sit bone to the floor. And then come back onto the other side. No worries if you're not actually getting the bind. And don't force it. So even if you have the ability to get it, it's not the worst thing to play with this a little bit and give yourself a chance to kind of like relax any tension in your shoulder. And then again, you can use the other hand to help you. Oh, I got the watch. I'll blame this on my watch. And then again, lift up as tall as you can. Keep that right sit bone to the floor. And use your hand to press your right knee down. So pushing down into that knee. Again, shouldn't be painful. And then you can look over right shoulder, or if I want more of the shoulder in it, I can take my back of my hand and I've used that to press, but also pull that shoulder back. Right shoulder is going to relax down my back more and more as I twist. And then back to center. Shavasana. And have a drink. And we'll lie down and relax. So lie down. Just let everything relax. Let your shoulder blades kind of slide down or back into your mat. Shoulder nice and wide across your chest. Let your palms be completely passive. Like someone just put a weight, small weight, in the center of your palm. Until your forearms feel more relaxed. Traditionally, we keep our eyes open. I'm closing mine. Just don't fall asleep. But really, if you do, then you needed it, so it's okay. I start the floor series of wind relieving, and we'll just do one set. So I'm going to bring the right knee up towards my chest. Traditional beginner version, interlocking the fingers, rolling the hip out slightly, and then drawing the knee down towards my right shoulder. You can stay here if this feels pretty good. The more advanced version is to draw your knee into the crook of your elbow. Grab your elbows so your forearms are parallel to the floor, still shoulders relaxed down, lengthening through your spine. You should still be able to breathe. A little pressure on the right side of your abdomen. And then bring the right leg down. Do the same thing on the other side. Left leg comes up. Interlace fingers. Draw your knee down. Wrist straight, shoulders relaxed. Or if that feels pretty comfortable, knee in the crook of the elbow. Hold the elbows. Release long into the floor. Chin tucked, shoulders relaxed. Look down and pull. A little pressure left side of the abdomen, but you should still be able to breathe. The pressure is less if you're doing the more advanced version. And left leg down. And then both legs lift up. So slide along through your low spine on the floor. Draw your knees into your chest to roll the hips to help you draw the knees in. Grab wherever is tight and come back. Again, your elbows, feet side by side. Look down and pull your knees into your chest and send your tail out behind you. Or towards your heels or whatever's in that direction. Shoulders down. Squeeze in. And then both legs down. The next is your sit up. Flex your feet. Bring your arms up over your head. Just crossing the thumbs. Try to keep the legs engaged so you're really pressing down through your hamstrings. And a little bit, that's going to help you tuck your pelvis, which is the last part of how you get up instead of the arms being the last part of how you sit up. So I'm going to pull my tail towards my heels. I'm going to press my thighs into the floor, slight tuck of the chin, and round up. Okay, moving on to spine strengthening series. So I'm going to do these as sets of 2. So we'll do the beginner version, and then if there's an advanced version, the advanced version or something working in that direction. So we'll start off with our cobra. Thumbs come in towards your chest. Fingers not higher or wider than your shoulders. Legs long back behind you. Try to draw the legs slightly in. So you're drawing the big toes to touch and you're slightly rolling in through your inner thighs. Forward to the floor to begin with, shoulders plugged in and back. Inhale, squeeze through the strong legs and glutes and start to draw your elbows back and bring your eyes up your mat. Chest off your mat, shoulders down, head comes up. And the full arc of your spine. And then we'll reverse it, lower down. For our second version, we'll bring the legs into a V. You can go wide, like as wide as your mat. For me, feels better to keep them a little bit more narrow than that, but you have to play with these as we get into these more advanced postures. They're a little bit more individualized, right? So you can play with where you want your hands too. Hands further forward will allow you to use your low back more. So I'm going to go not really too much forward, but I'm going to go a little bit. And then I'm going to press my pubic bone down and forward. And I'm going to slowly start to roll my shoulders back and lift my chest coming up the same way as before. Head comes up last, but arms go straight. And then you can always play with up onto your fingertips or where your hands go. Just make sure you're not doing this. This is no good for anybody. So you've got to keep the shoulders down. And then pubic bone will ideally still be touching and forward. From here I can lift my feet and draw my feet to touch. A little closer. Big toes to touch. And then again I can keep, if I put it down like this, I'm going to press here from the floor. I can play with my hands, sliding my hands back, lifting my chest. I'm just finding that perfect spot for you. You're curling in with your hamstrings, drawing your feet towards your butt, pressing your pubic bone forward. I'm pressing a little bit through the heels of my hands, rolling my shoulders back, lifting my chest, trying to get as much of that full arch of my spine as I can, which is harder when your lower body's in this different position. And then slowly come back up. And then release, look to the right, left arm on the towel or your mat. Arms relax along your sides, big toes touch, heels just fall out naturally. Next is Salabhasana. So I'm going to draw my arms underneath me and hands as close as you can get. Wrists straight, fingers spread out, side the legs long. Chin on the towel for the first part, left leg relaxed. Still there's that rolling in through the thighs. So kind of scooping in through the right glute, rolling in, lift your right leg up, press your right hip down or forward, just 10 seconds. And then lower down. Same thing in the other leg, right leg is passive, left leg's kind of like scooping and rolling in. Lengthen back through the sole of the foot, flat to the ceiling, and lift it up. Press your left hip forward and down. You can slightly feel the weight shifting forward into your upper arms. And lower it down. Both legs, mouth to the floor. Can't bring your chin forward for the beginner. As you get more, comfortable knees, you can start, but that's something to be very cautious with. So make sure you're not shoving weight into your neck. Both legs together. Press through your fingers, your palms. Both legs lift up. Press through my hands. Shift the weight up. And lower back down. Take a break from my arms, but I'm going to do a second set here. There's no advanced version of this one. It's just eventually your legs go up higher. You can scorpion and drop the legs over to your head. But part of the way of getting more comfortable with that is getting more of that weight forward, getting your neck more stretched so you can be more comfortable on your throat. So if you're not comfortable with that, second set's the same for you. Otherwise, setting up the same way we did in the first set, but instead of extending the legs back, I'm going to keep my knees here, touching my fingertips. And then I can either stay here and lift one leg up, or for more of this wonderful sensation, I can lift up with my soles of my feet to the floor. Or not soles, toes to the floor. Right leg lifts. And lowers. Left leg lifts. And lowers. And then for both legs, you can try same setup as before, but with the legs wide. Some people love this. So again, you can have your mouth to the floor and both legs lift. And then if you get very comfortable here, you can bring them together as a way to get higher than maybe you got before. Or back down. Release your arms, look to the left, right arm the towel, relax. And now for our full cobra, or full locust, excuse me. So I'm going to lengthen out everything again. Arms come out into a wide T. Legs long back behind, again, drawing inwards. So the big toes touch and you kind of like zip up the legs a little bit. Press your hip bones, your pelvis down towards the floor. And then inhale, everything lifts away from there. Until so that you're going to bounce right on your hip bones, lifting your ribcage up, rolling the ribs forward, slightly sensation of squeezing in through the shoulder blades and drawing the shoulders down the back. Legs lighter, longer. Chest up, look up, lift up, hold it. And lower down. And then for this class, I've been doing a little exercise for the second set called fly-ups. So it really is just full upper or full back strength to bring your body up off the floor. So the legs are going to stay down, the legs are going to go into a V position. Arms come up into a V, so you're like one big X. And then I'm going to keep my legs to the floor. I'm going to squeeze inwards in my legs, so even though they're wide, they're really active. And I'm going to try to find that place where I can balance towards my pubic bone and lift the rest of my upper body up as much as possible. Inhale and fly up. And reset. This is an exercise. We'll do a couple of them. If you can touch something, and eventually you're going to grab the tops of your knees, believe it or not. All right, a couple more. Inhale, fly up, and reset. Use your breath. It's a powerful tool in this one. Press the hips down, inhale, fly up. And lower down. And bring the legs back in, big toes touch, heels fall out, look to the right, relax your arms by your sides. And then finally, bow down your asana. So lengthen again if you need to. Bring the feet up. Bring your hands around or reach around to get your ankles. You're going to line up your heels with your sit bones if possible. Relax your shoulders. Tuck your chin. And then kick up and kick back. Roll towards the center of your abdomen. Relax your shoulders and kick into your hands. Try to find that equal pressure on your kick to lift and expand your chest. Knees and feet 6 inches apart. And relax down. We're going to do one more set. For this set, I'm going to reach around and do the big toe grip. So holding around the big toes from the inside is going to have more shoulder rotation. And if you feel this a lot in your elbows, bend your elbows more at the beginning. Try to get more from your shoulder, because it's just your elbows try to steal the show, which they don't need to. Relax your shoulders, take a deep breath, and kick. And you can find the soft center of your belly. If you really want to work the upper back more, you can roll back into your pelvis more and try to get more upper back. See where it feels good for you. Squeeze the knees in, and you might feel it more in the inner thighs than anywhere else. That's where I'm feeling it today. And change, relax down. Look to the left, arms along the sides of the body, relax your shoulders. Let the legs just roll out. And chin forward, hands underneath your shoulders. Push yourself up. Kind of press back. And stretch through the hands and stretch your hips back, kind of like a child's pose. So walk your hands back as much as you need to. And we're going to take a little dolphin here. So we're not going to do any crazy inversions in this class, but we're going to get just a little bit more shoulder strength with the dolphin. So we're going to come down onto the forearms. You can measure by holding onto your biceps and then bringing your arms back out. So that's about where you want to be. Also, that kind of stuff can kind of like get you a little bit more settled into your forearms. And then fingers spread wide, same as when we did the crow. I want to keep those second fingers parallel to each other like 11s. I really like to touch my thumbs, but that's completely optional. Some people really like to clasp the hands or do a prayer grip, so those are fine too. And then I'm going to tuck my toes, and I'm going to scoop my belly, and I'm going to lift my hips up. So feet can go together or hip width apart, and then just pressing back and down through the heels. Or as you get more comfortable with these, you can come forward more. So the idea is the more forward you come, the more my shoulders are coming over my elbows, so it's going to require a little bit more flexibility. And And I'm going to add some fun stuff here. I'm going to make sure my feet are hip width distance for this so I have a little help with the balance. So if you're not used to doing stuff on your hands or arms, I wouldn't recommend this just yet. If you want to try, you can tent up onto your right fingertips, come up onto one hand, reach your right arm out. If you feel like your shoulder's collapsing in on itself, it's not time for this one yet. If it's comfortable, you can reach your right arm around your back. And then bring it back down. Again, find that drawing in. Left side, out. Wrap it around. Still trying to keep my chest as parallel to the floor as possible so I'm not turning to the side. And retrace the steps, and then I'm going to add on one more option. So obviously take it down, go onto your knees if you need a break, otherwise coming up, right arm out, behind, left leg up, grab the foot. Really got to be able to stabilize with your left shoulder for this one. And then switch. Knee drop in between sides because this is some serious business. Make sure you're not starting to go out wide with your arms. Wrap it in. Come back up. Left hand comes up, out, behind. I'm going to keep my chest forward. Right leg comes up. Maybe I can grab the foot on this side. Pressing away from the floor with my right shoulder. And bring it down. All the way back. And back to the child's pose. Stretch your arms forward. I did a lot of wrist stuff yesterday, so I want to stretch my wrists even more. Right. And then we'll go into our fixed room. So kneel down position. You can open your knees. Sit your hips down in between your heels. Slide your calves out of the way or walk your knees wider. Ankles nice and straight. Hands to your feet, lower yourself down. Obviously, stay more lifted if there's any knee issues here. And if you're comfortable, you can grab your elbows, pull your shoulders down, create a nice arch in your spine, tilting your rib cage up. Big stretch the front of your hips, so it's also a quad stretch at this point. So I'm actively pressing my knees towards the floor and in. And then hands back to the feet and slowly come back up. And we'll go right into our forward fold. So scoot back if you need to. Arms up over your head. Heels towards the sit bones. Lift your chest, look forward, and fold forward. Lengthening out through your arms, just your baby fingers towards the floor, wherever you can stack up your joints through your arms so you feel this really lengthening up out of your chest and your armpits, hips back. Folding from the creases, the folds of the hips. Inhale, come back up. And arms down. And then I'm going to show you the more advanced ways to get into a camel. Obviously, if you're not warmed up, it might not make sense for you today. So, take it as you need it. I really love these for me because they help me use my low back less. So it's kind of my preferred way to camel these days. But I'm going to bring my knees out. So my knees are not together. That's crazy. Not crazy, but just really hard. But I'm going to keep my big toes touching. And so in the advanced class, you'd come out of that last one, you'd have your arms up, you'd just make this small adjustment, and you'd go back into your camel. So the nice thing about this is you can lift up, and this can be your camel, it can be just a small thing, or you can start to go back, and you'd be like, no, I'm going to go here, or you can go all the way back, hands to your heels. So take it as you need it, or go into your regular camel with your legs as wide as they need to be, with your hands at your hips for as long as you need, that's fine too. Otherwise, you can start to go up. And then stretch the front of your hips, just like we did at the beginning of class. You can stay there, or you can start to reach your arms out, or you can bring your hands out, or you can go back to your heels. Make your first camel feel good though, because you're going to have more. So 2 more at your own pace. Options. Slide your hands down the front of your legs. You're still somewhat engaged. Your arms, like kind of like when you do the arm bounce, your arms are still drawing in. So I'm going to draw in, lift, and then as I get more flexible, I can draw my hands down to my knees. Spoiler alert, my hands do not get anywhere near my knees. Yours might. You can also slide your hands back towards the back of your knees. A little bit more accessible. And then you can stay there. You can do the stand special, reaching one arm back at a time. Or you might want to just start up here and just go back here, or go back here, or do a full tap back. I haven't tried a tap back in a while, so we'll see. I'm probably going to take a couple flowy ones. I prefer these moving, generally. So, again, play as you need. Backward bending playtime, as we call it. So again, a couple slow ones, hanging out for a while, maybe getting more comfortable with a slightly different variation. Those arms back ones can be fun, or taking more of an active, trying to just get a little bit more warmed up, coming in, coming out, depending on what you need today. And then we're going to Savasana. If you went to some wild new territory in your back bends and the sit-up does not feel like a smart move here, you can always skip it, roll to the side and come up, take a stretch, roll, come up, or usually what happens for me is if I start to feel tight as I come up, I just bend my knees a bunch, and that, releases any tension. So we'll see. Arms up, tuck the chin. I'm already tucking my tail. I'm already pulling down and drawing the front points of my hips towards my ribs, which is what helps me curl up. Shh, shh. Probably talking to you guys about it, being more mindful about it, I didn't have to bend my knees. And then we'll take 2 rabbits, no Savasana, just 2 rabbits. So slide the feet together, grab your heels, tuck your chin, round, forehead towards your knees, top of your head towards the floor, hips come up. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze your heels in, squeeze in the belly, really shortening the front of the body now, and lift up through the back body, hips higher. And then come back up. Oh, I don't feel like I got high up off the floor at all, but it felt really good. Second set, option to hover your forehead. This is quite a bit harder, so see what you need. And then we'll extend the legs out wide or separate leg stretching. Let's bring the left leg in, pivot the torso over the right leg, and round over that leg. And release your fingers, tuck your chin forward to your knee. Elbows down on the side of the calf. Roll to the left to square your shoulders and your hips. Left elbow, left shoulder down. Externally rotating the left knee down. Maybe I'll come back up. Same thing other side. If you don't need your hands, don't use them. If you do, use them. Pivot to the left, grab your left foot. Tuck your chin, round forward to the knee, elbows down, wrist straight. Actually rotate the right leg, so rolling that right leg out. Flex your left toes back. Scoop out the belly, round your spine. Inhale, come back up. Both legs in front. Lie down. A little bonus sit up. And then you can walk the legs back if that's helpful for you. You can bend the knees up a little bit if that helps for you. Grab the big toes, or I'm going to do my favorite, which is I take my thumbs, I bring them across the front ridge of my foot, and then I kind of wrap around, so that stretches out the front arch of my foot really nicely. That's what feels really good for me. So I'm going to take my thumbs, wrap them around, wrap my other fingers around the back of my feet, and then pull my toes, baby toes, towards me as I reach my elbows towards the floor. Change, come back up. Let's lie down, take Savasana. Flex your feet, arms up over your head, curl up. And then we'll end with the double-sided series, which are weird hip openers. So we're going to start with Archer, or Konadhanurasana. Right leg goes at an angle across, left leg goes over. So the weird thing here is the grip. I'm going to take my thumb and my middle finger, and I'm going to touch them together. Second finger sticks up, and then I'm going to turn that down. So I've got these little loops with my thumb and my middle finger. I'm going to take the loop and I'm bringing it over the toe, that's the big toe that's in front, so that my second finger goes across the bridge of the toes. You guys can see that. Arms don't cross. Lift up. Look over left shoulder. Right heel comes up towards your ear like you're pulling back a bow, so the elbows are coming more in one, or shoulders coming more in one line. You can shoot. Same thing on the other side. Left leg goes across the body. Right leg goes over. Thumb, middle finger make the loop. Turn it down. Loop goes over the big toe. Second finger goes across the bridge of the toe. Sit up as tall as you can. You're high on your sit bones. Look over the right shoulder. Right foot now is going to come up towards my ear. Chin's towards my shoulder. Kind of draw the shin right up into my armpit and shoot. The second one, left leg is going to go back like half fixed firm. So roll the calf back as needed and try to land on that sit bone. Right foot comes up, and this is a tricky one, so feel free to kind of sit up tall here, play your knee into your chest, and this can be a fine place to work it. Also, if there's any knee injuries, you can do this whole thing with your left leg straight. But if you're comfortable here, trying to stay sitting up tall, you can bring your shin up as parallel to your chest as possible. Flex your right foot. Right arm is going to go underneath, so it's like you're drawing your shin in towards your body. Left arm comes up and over. Interlace fingers, touch thumbs if possible. Same thing other side. 4 angle pose. Chartreuse Kanasana. Right leg goes back. Knee injuries, you can keep it straight forward. Left leg comes up. You might need to take a moment to find your seat, to lift up tall. You can stay there. You can draw your shin parallel to your torso. Left arm comes underneath. Drawing it in, lifting up. Or wrapping the arm around. Interlace fingers, thumbs touch. Maybe lifting your gaze forward. And left leg down. And then our third one will be Gomukhasana, cow face. Left knee in front, right leg over. Any knee issues here, you can keep the bottom leg straight. Just bringing the edges of the feet towards the sides of your body. If the hips are tight, they might not get all the way back there. Stack your knees on top as best you can. Right leg is on top, so the right arm will be on top. I'm going to sweep my right arm up, so my elbow's towards the ceiling. Take my left hand and just gently guide my elbow up and back, so I can take my right hand, pat my back. Left arm goes out with the palm towards the wall behind you. Bring it behind you, and then bring it up. And you can keep your hands just touching along your back, or if you have the flexibility or a little towel or something, you can get a bind. Don't let your right arm bully your neck. Keep your neck long, and just sit up tall. Oftentimes here what happens is we arch back dramatically, so pull the bottom ribs down, find your sit bones again, and really lift up straight. And then release, and we'll just switch sides. No fancy business today, just switching sides. So the left leg goes on top. This one's going to take me a moment to get there. This leg doesn't like to go in this place. And again, stacking up on your sit bones as best you can. Left arm comes up, you can take your right hand, guide your elbow, pat your back. Right arm comes out with the palm facing back, press it back, and then curl that back of your hand towards your back. Maybe you can get the bind. Oh, this will watch. Or, well, just touching your back is fine. Don't let your left arm bully your neck. Probably reaching the ribs forward to pull the bottom ribs in. Find your sit bones, lift tall on your sit bones with a straight spine. Chin parallel. And release it. We'll go into our spine twist. So I'm just going to shimmy the legs, left leg back in front, right leg over, heel the corner of the knee. This is part of the double-sided series actually. It's the fourth one. Right arm behind, left arm up, palm the knee, right arm can stay or wrap around your back. Lift up, shoulders in one line, point your left toes, chin parallel to your shoulder, and twist. And then back to center, to the other side, right leg in front, toes pointing forward, right toes point back, hips on the floor, not on your foot, left arm behind, right arm up, palm the knee, left arm can stay or wrap behind, lift up, look over your left shoulder, try to even out your shoulders, chin parallel, and twist. Just come back to center, right down, Savasana. We'll end with Kapalabhati breathing, and then that's a full integrate practice. So flex your feet, arms up, tuck your chin, up. And for Kapalabhati, I'm just going to do one set. This is my favorite way when I teach this class, is to do one set extra long. So do 3 speeds, slow, medium, fast. So I'll clap and then we'll speed up. So we'll start with the slow, shoulders relaxed, breathing out through the mouth every time belly pulls in. So much. First integrate digital class on the books. Living room yoga. Namaste.